your anxieties, like how am I ever going to get through this, like our debt, right? Good evening. I'm Nicole.
I'm Brian, and this is the Coaching Council, where we get together and talk about things that are important to you, important to us, and for the betterment of society.
Absolutely. So we're still on values. There's 10 values to live by in order to be happy. Obviously, some values are going to be more important than others. And tonight we're going to go with recreation, fun, and leisure.
Okay.
Okay. So what sorts of hobbies, sports, or leisure activities do you enjoy? How do you relax and unwind? How do you have fun? And what sorts of activities would you like to do? Let's start with like the first question and we'll kind of go on.
Okay.
So what sorts of hobbies, sports, or leisure activities do you enjoy?
Let's see. Well, I find myself more in the spectator role now because obviously we have kids. So I do enjoy watching sports. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm somewhat of a junkie, so I like watching practice. I like all that stuff. So there's that. But that's not really me. For me, I enjoy writing, obviously. It's something I like to do a lot. And traveling obviously I would consider a recreation. The way we do it is. It's a contact sport sometimes. What about you?
Okay. So hobbies, I don't even know if I think I've gotten away from hobbies. I mean, maybe travel. I belong to a women's travel group. Love it. I mean, we used to travel a lot more, but not really as much anymore. I mean, the dynamics of our relationships kind of have changed, and where we are in our lives are very different.
You're talking about you and your friends.
Yeah. I like being outdoors in the woods. I've always been, I guess, so if I could choose to live anywhere, I would live in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and then I would vacation on a beach. Okay. That would be like my ideal life.
Live in the woods, vacation to the beach.
Yeah, because there's something about the beach and the sun, and so...
Is it the beach or the weather? Because I feel like...
I think it's both.
I'm not meaning to inject myself into your thing, but I feel like we like room service more than necessarily hanging out on a sandy beach.
Well, I'm just thinking
more poolside.
The best vacation I ever went on was probably Jamaica.
Come on.
And I spent half the time on the beach. I'd get up, read for like 2 hours, under a tree, just, taking in the sounds. And then when I wanted to be more social, I would go to the pool, order maybe a drink or two. I hung out with a lot of the locals there and stuff like that. And I was there with some friends, but if they weren't around, that was fine because then I would hang out with the locals. I don't know. And it was just relaxing, right? And so one day we hiked the waterfall. Another day we did the Bob Marley tour, and that was, and that's all I needed. Like, it was really kind of a fun time. But I will say my relaxation comes at the beach. Like, I don't mind and so I guess for me, it's like, I enjoy travel just for the company, maybe. Like when we do big trips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I used to plan big trips all the time until the kids sat me down and said, "We're not having fun with you."
Yeah.
And
you got a kind of a Griswold kind of reputation.
Well, which is funny because so does Bobby, but I was the problem. And so then I decided, okay, quit over planning. Okay, we get 2 days per 7 to plan something, and our kids are really active, so we end up playing sports, like we kayak, we play volleyball nonstop. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we do a lot
For sure.
physically. Even when I'm in the woods, like I go hiking or shooting,
You
or
listen for prey.
I hunt my prey. I hunt my prey.
Okay.
So obviously, sport. I guess being active. I think I need to go. I would run
Yeah.
if I. I
That's
think
a good.
I need to get back into that.
You were a lot happier when you were like training for marathons and stuff. I mean, you weren't happy necessarily
I wasn't
with
happy.
the training, but I feel like mentally
Yeah.
you were in a better place when you were.
I had definitely more clarity.
Yeah, I think you were in a really good place then.
You know what? If we're talking about recreation, fun, and leisure, and we're
We
still
are.
on the activities that we enjoy,
Yeah.
I'm in a recipe club. I obviously love food.
Same.
You've become quite the cook this year.
I've been working hard.
Yeah. So, I really appreciated like when you said, what was the holiday?
I
It was
think
our
it was
anniversary. It was our
Yeah.
anniversary. You're not
Anniversary.
really good with that, but I said, you know what?
friendly fire.
Yeah. So what I wanted this year was you to cook me a gourmet meal. I sent you.
Which ironically was when you were pregnant, like years ago, you would always say, you would like be sleeping almost. You would be like, honey, go cook me a gourmet meal.
That was when I was drinking.
Same.
Okay. Same as being pregnant?
Well, different times, but
Okay.
obviously.
No, but you did it. Like I
I did.
sent you the menu and you delivered and it was awesome. And so actually I kind of want to make that a more ongoing thing. Now there's certain things,
It's a nice thing about anniversaries is they are an ongoing thing.
but yeah, but maybe like more ongoing than once a year.
All right.
Okay, so how do you relax and unwind?
Well, it depends because I have a couple rituals that I do, which is usually when I get home from work, within an hour or so from when I go to work, I go into the hot tub because I have to, just for the muscles and everything else. And usually if I have time when I wake up, I will go in the hot tub as well. And I know that seems like doubling up, and it is, but it's just really helpful. It keeps everything loose, and that's like my ritual now. I try to get in twice a day. Now, as far as like mental relaxation, I think that I do try to do some small forms of meditation when I can, some breathing exercises. I'm finding that church is a good place for that too, because everyone has to be quiet, and so that leaves me for a lot of time to
Well, and that's actually, I'm glad you said that because,
reflect.
well, and church is for reflection during the week. It's a good place to unwind. So I think that's why I like our faith and our practice, because at some churches it's very upbeat and stuff like that. You don't have that quiet time to meditate, and really character is built on reflection.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't figure out why I was so, because you and I thought religion was important.
Yep.
And we went to so many different churches.
I'm not interrupting you, but isn't religion and spirituality on one of these?
You are interrupting me.
I know.
And yes, it is, and I was
Okay.
only going to make one point.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I'm going to stop now and we'll go back.
Oh,
to
don't
no.
don't cliffhanger.
Oh, no.
Don't penguin everybody. That's
I don't
messed
even know
up.
what I was saying anymore.
All right,
Okay,
sorry.
so I'm going to move on. Well, okay, so you said unwind and relaxation at church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meditation.
Sure. So, of course, I agree 100%. I always go there and then I start crying for no reason in the middle of church, but that's just because I think it's my time to kind of, actually it's my only time to release all my emotions that I have from seeing patients nonstop or whatever, because it can be pretty heavy.
Absolutely.
Another way I relax is reading with my feet up. I would love to nap, but I haven't been able to.
Like your feet up, like how?
Like on my
Just like on an ottoman or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it's like some weird stirrup thing. I was like, it's so awkward.
Yeah, well, you just made it awkward.
I did.
That was never
I totally did.
Weird.
I don't know why my mind went there.
So. Okay. Also, probably, people can drink, people get high, to relax or whatever. It's whatever you go to. As long as, anything in moderation. You can overdo it,
I mean, heroin in moderation is probably not a good idea.
No, how about only legal substances in moderation?
Yeah.
So everything else is illegal. So it's just, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not arguing that.
I'm not saying that you have to drink to relax. I will say, also, I enjoy the hot tub in the evening with a whiskey.
Same.
But I don't remember the last time I did that. It's been probably 6 weeks.
It has been a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been kind of like all business in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, plus the hot tub was out of commission for 3 weeks.
That's why.
That's why. Okay. Yeah. Well, you enjoy your whiskey. And then I guess the other one to relax and unwind. That's why I would say. So the beach is more to unwind, and the woods I can relax and unwind because it's fresh air and just being able to breathe it in.
Okay.
And then reading. So we can go on to the next one.
Yeah.
How do you have fun?
That is a hard question because I have fun a lot of times just by using my imagination, I guess. I know that sounds weird, but a lot of times I tend to let my mind wander, and it's not always good for, getting things done. But it's not always good for that, but it is good to get my, creative juices flowing. And I find that by opening up that portal in my mind that I have just a lot better attitude, overall when I'm able to do that.
Okay. I guess I pick my friends on how I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. You definitely have some friends that are more fun than others. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
So I have fun with my friends. I have fun with the kids.
And you have a lot of friends. You have a huge circle.
Yeah.
You have many circles. You have a plethora of circles.
Well, I kind of always, I always have, and it's just, I think it's because I like being alone, and
I have a lot of friends because I like being alone.
That's not what I meant. So, so I had a lot of friends, but I was alone all the time. You know what I mean? So it was easy to go out because then I'd go home to an empty house or whatever.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? And so even growing up, I didn't interact really with my family. We'd have dinner together and then no one talked for the rest of the night, right? So it was kind of more or less one of those things where I'd be out with my friends or, out doing something, or friends would come over to my house. But then I'd have so much alone time too, I was grounded all the time. Let's face it. So
party animal.
Right. And so when I met you, I essentially was living alone. And so
Yes. I thought you meant when you were living with me, you were essentially living alone. Sorry.
No. No. When I lived with you, unfortunately, I've never been alone since. And then having kids, you're just,
Yeah.
It's
I can't even go to the bathroom.
right. Well, that's because of you're being sarcastic because of me, but I think there's should be like a 2-kid max. 4 kids is a lot.
Shout out to Joey and Brody.
Well, you're the one that didn't want more kids. Just so I don't know. I guess fun for me is, hanging out with friends.
Yep.
Sometimes getting wild, like going out and getting wild or reminiscing, when I meet up with cousins and stuff like that.
You get wild and get in the photo album or
just throwing back.
Oh. Tying a few on.
Yeah, or reminiscing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny stories, at my cousin's wedding, they got, where did they get married? Do you remember where Johnny and Ryan got married? Was it
Colorado?
I know, but it wasn't at the hotel, was it?
No, it was at the
shoot.
It was like some weird cabin thing, wasn't it?
Right. And then we went back to the hotel.
I mean, it was a really nice cabin.
Yeah.
But it was yeah.
It was not. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it was an outdoor wedding.
Yeah.
And then inside reception cabin.
Yeah. All I remember is that I got asked out and I didn't get to go golfing with everyone. So I was kind of pissed about that.
So, but I will say that we went back to the hotel and I bought everyone shots. And then...
I don't remember that.
Well, that's because you were in the hotel room with the children.
They were screaming all night. Super fun.
And then I didn't know how much I spent. So I had to go back to the bar the next morning and ask them how much I spent. And they're like, we don't have any open tabs. And then I called my bank and they said I didn't charge anything.
Nice.
And then 4 years later, I was nervous. I'm like, where the hell happened? Because I know. So then 4 years later, maybe it was 14 years later, my mom was like, we were reminiscing about the wedding. My mom's like, some asshole charged all the drinks to my room. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I was wondering what happened.
Yeah, she loved that.
So, I mean, we've had some good times.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Okay, so what sort of activities would you like to do if you could pick anything or set that as a goal in the future? So recreation, fun, leisure.
I think that we've already kind of set in plan our travel plans for the next few years, and we've got some really cool trips, coming up. So I feel like the travel part of it is kind of set, with camping trips, with, travel plans, things like that. That part of it is set. I would like to probably do some more couples things. I like cooking, and I joke about it, but I do like doing the gourmet cooking. That is fun.
Oh. Okay.
So I would like to do that more. I mean, maybe once every other month would be good because I mean we cook a lot at this house.
Well, and it's not, but it's not gourmet.
No, not at all.
An assembly line.
Yeah, for sure. But every once in a while, it's nice to do that. Yeah, I mean, things like that. I definitely want to have a little bit more attention paid to the mental side of it. I feel like I definitely need to kind of unplug and just sit with my thoughts and be quiet.
What do you think about maybe implementing an hour a night of silence?
I mean,
for yourself.
That came out really weird. I mean, yeah, I could take a vow of silence for an hour a night.
I mean, like, we are forced to do our own thing or have our own space. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be every night.
But we're getting better at it. Like, we're doing the sauna now. So we're implementing that into our plans. That's like 30 minutes of, like, just quiet. I mean, I'm listening to audiobooks, but it's still...
I am too, but at least I'm really enjoying my book.
Nice.
I want you to read it, actually. It's about kind of being kind, and it's about hospitality, but also, like, just always having that positive attitude and good intentions, and then throwing them out there and, like, really focusing on intentionally being kind to people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean...
That is one of my focuses for this year, is working on my positivity.
Mine was just kind of like, you know, listening to that was just like validating myself. Because I'm...
Oh, finally, someone knows how right I am. Someone else is saying it.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever.
I know.
You don't have to be all negative all the time.
I know. That's one of my goals. So what about you?
Well, I think I guess for me, what's fun for me is like getting organized and clean.
That doesn't sound very fun.
Well, okay, so like I'm watching a Packer game. I'm not missing a Packer game this year. I started it right before the new year. I canceled my patients on the 29th. I'm like, hey, well, I didn't tell them.
Yeah, what did you tell them?
Well, I rescheduled them.
Okay.
And then
you're like, hey, the Packers are playing.
Well,
so.
I did say going further, like when I was scheduling, I'm like, hey, you can have this spot, but I will cancel you if the Packers are playing at this time.
Nice.
In fact, I'm going to go do a quick job on Sunday night, a drywall job. And I said, look, I'm going to come after the Packer game, but if that's a problem, we'll do a different day.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, come after the Packer game.
Nice.
And so I'll call you when I'm on my way. It'll be like 6 o'clock.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And so and you told me to do this, so start scheduling things. I'm taking every other weekend off.
Yep.
So far I've got my weekend. Well, unfortunately I'm booked, but like the week I'm not working.
Yeah. I think that's going to be huge for you. If you just schedule time off, it'll just give you so much more like headspace, some more bandwidth that you're constantly like pushing yourself out to, you know, do your tasks and help people and do your thing, but you don't like just stop.
No, I don't.
So I think that will be a really good thing. This could be the year of Nikki.
Well, I think this is a good year of Nikki discovering herself.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. Okay, what's our question?
Oh, let me look. I have a couple of good ones here.
We're just doing one.
Let's see. No. Okay. What if time travel were possible? Where and when would you go, and why?
How old am I? I would go 40 years into the future to see if I'm still alive.
Why?
Because then I would plan for a short-term life rather than a long-term life.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, you would plan to live longer. But I mean, the future is kind of like...
Well, like, just like the past. You can't redo your past, so it's got to be in the past. You let it go. Yeah. You know, your future
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be your past.
Well, what do you mean? Like, I wouldn't want to go do anything different in the past. I wouldn't want to see anything different in the past because I wouldn't have my kids. Like, this was a discussion with my mom when she said, like, I could have done something else with my life. I would never go back into the past. I mean, I know, like, in the end, I'm gonna have to reconcile with God and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't do anything differently because there isn't one thing that I would give up right in this moment. So by going back in the past, you risk changing anything, and then you and I might not be sitting here right now.
True.
I wouldn't have my fur babies. I wouldn't have my kids.
I mean, let's be honest. We might be better off without the fur babies.
Well, I mean, I think that way of you sometimes. But, so going into the future, I think I would go 40 years from now. And just so if I knew I was alive or not. And if I wasn't, then maybe I would do things a little bit differently and just kind of...
You'd find out how you died and try to, like,
I wouldn't find
prevent
out.
it?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, I'm asking.
No, I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't want to know.
Okay.
Because I don't want to know it's coming.
Right.
Like, I think it's terrible. I think, like, people who have, like, my mother, like, all these, terminal illness and know it's coming. I don't want to know it's coming. Just, shoot me in the back of the head. Don't really. But, like, but
yeah.
I don't want to know it's coming. I think that's just, like, I love life. And so to lose, and some people don't, but to lose it for me would be like no more coffee. You know what I mean? No more hugs. No more, smiles. No more, teaching my kid to rub your belly and pat your head and then watch them go, it's so easy. Why can't you do this? That's what I'm supposed to be doing. There's just, like little things.
Okay.
Laughing with my friends. Like, I can totally see me and my friends when we're like 80s and 90s being inappropriate and, of course, laughing about the ones that have gone before us and stuff like that in a positive way, just reminiscing. And that's a kind of like, and that's why I think for me having such like positive relationships are so important because I just want to enjoy life, and I'm not afraid of things,
Right.
I'd have to deal with them as they arose. But it's, I'm just going straight in. So I would go 40 if I even chose to time travel. 40 years in the future, am I still here? If the answer is no, I'm going to have to do a lot more living than I do now.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I would probably want to do the same like time frame, but it's more of a curiosity standpoint. I don't even know if I'd look myself up. I would just be, I'm dying to know what's going to happen next, and in 40 years, I may or may not be here, but I feel like right now we're living in the most interesting time ever. And I feel like in the next 30 to 40 years, it's going to get even more interesting. And with all the technological advances, all the, just all the things that are happening on the outside, all our geopolitical stuff that's going on, I kind of want to jump to the end of the book and see, what's going to happen. But that would be why I would do it. I wouldn't be necessarily looking myself up and saying, "Am I dead?"
Yeah.
But that's interesting. That's actually a cool way of looking at it.
And I don't care what happens next.
I know.
Like, just like let's experience it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think that's fascinating.
Well, I think should we call it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Well, have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful week. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions or any discussion topics, let us know.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys tuning in, giving us a like or a follow. And have a good night.